All right, welcome back. Another episode of the Victor's Voice. Matt, how you doing, brother?
Oh man, it's episode 3 already. It's crazy we're already here, man. And you know what? They say good things come in threes. And how about U of M balling out? They tie a program record for 3 first-round picks in the NFL draft, dude. They showed up and showed out. Should have been 4, but that's besides the point. We'll get into that. Just great day to be here. The sun's out. Pistons are playing. The state of Michigan isn't. They got good vibes right now. We are cooking. How you doing, Bryce?
You good? Well said. State of Michigan's in a good spot right now. Unless you're a Sparty fan, which we can talk about that in a little bit. But
Mhm.
no, Pistons are playing. Weather's beautiful. We had the draft this weekend, and you mentioned big, big first round for Michigan. Lots to talk about here. I think we dive right in. So fun draft. Talk about Michigan's picks. Talk about some of the other teams' picks. We got to touch on the Shedeur saga as well because that was wild. And so yeah, I think you mentioned big showing for Michigan. The first getting 3 picks in the first or the top 15. Right. So Mason Graham going 5, Colston Loveland going 10, and then Kenneth Grant going 13th. And let's talk about this here because I want to give a special shout out to Lou Esposito about the defensive line coach at Michigan for coaching those boys up. I mean, if you go to any recruit's room and say, hey, these are 2 first-round draft picks on the D-line that I coached that weren't highly touted. I know Mason Graham was kind of that 4-star, but it wasn't a 5-star, and Kenneth Grant, I think, was a 3-star, right? So you can go to any room and say, look what I just helped produce. Come to Michigan. We'll do that same thing here. That was a
Yeah.
big win for him.
Oh, big time, man. And I know Lou because he was the defensive line coach at Western Michigan, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, defensive coordinator before. So like, he's just a great guy to be around. Just talk to him firsthand, and I mean, yeah, what a phenomenal job he was able to do. Just bringing these guys up, letting them cook to their full potential, and yeah, it was just awesome to see those 2 guys get their flowers and be recognized as they should be. They're 2 of the best defensive linemen in the draft, and so cool to see Mason go in the top 5 where he should have gone, and then for Kenneth to get into that mix. And I mean, he was a fringe first rounder, so like for him to get 13th overall, I mean, that's awesome. And so both of those guys obviously can just stuff up so much space. And it'll be fun to see them develop and grow into more than just the run prowess that they've been able to dominate with, and making Michigan one of the best run defenses in the country last season. Um,
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun to see them kind of evolve their games and get after the quarterback too.
And a place like, honestly, let's be real, Dolphins, of course, there's some history, but you got to go back pretty far. And then the Browns, and so 2 teams that need help and have a lot of missing pieces. But I look at that AFC East division, so Cleveland, Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Pittsburgh. There's a lot of the rivalry in that game. We saw that with this draft. So Mason Graham goes to the Browns, Quinshawn Junkins goes to the Browns. Steelers get Will Howard, Jack Sawyer, and then you already look at some of these. Zach Zinter plays for Cleveland, so he got drafted last year. Chris Jenkins plays for Cincinnati. He got drafted last year. All of a sudden, that division has a lot of familiar faces for us Michigan fans and people that we know about. JT Tuimoloau, he got drafted by, who did he get picked up by? I can't remember now. It might have been Seattle, but wasn't one of those guys. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Mason does in Cleveland. I don't know how your Twitter algorithm works, but I think the more you engage with specific content, you kind of get wrapped into that similar content. So I was getting a lot of like Cleveland fans in my For You feed on the X app, and there's a lot of people that weren't, a lot of Cleveland Browns fans that weren't totally in love with that pick. Now I don't know if that's because they were Buckeyes and they just hate the fact that the guy. I mean, you look at what Graham said after the Ohio State game. Not overly thrilled to have him there, and so yeah, I don't know. I obviously I think he's one of the best players in the draft, one of the best players in the league, or excuse me, in college football, and I think it's a huge win for Cleveland.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's not the pick that they were hoping for in terms of just like being splashy or flashy, but this guy is going to be a legitimate, starter for the next decade in Cleveland. Like he has all pro potential. He's a dominant force. He commands double teams. And let's be real. Maybe it's because the Browns traded back and, maybe some fans were excited that they could potentially see Travis Hunter in a Browns uniform, but that's not the reality. The Browns just need talent at this point. And this is talent to a T right now. I feel like Mason Graham is a lot quicker than people think, in his quick twitch and strength, will really be something to see alongside of Myles Garrett. That's going to be nasty, man. I mean, can you imagine? You're going to have a defense that's back to, its formidability that 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago, the Cleveland Browns were recognized as one of the best defenses in the league. And so this is a huge get for them. And I honestly thought that they got a really good haul from, trading that second pick and getting, some draft capital.
It's a crazy trade
in return. Yeah. You get the 2026 first. I was shocked when that trade went down, to be honest.
I think Travis Hunter brings a lot of excitement both on the field and off the field, but that was a big haul for him. And yeah, I think the Browns come up smelling like roses, especially when you get some guy like Mason Graham. And you talk about those 2 D linemen, him, Kenneth Grant, and their tape is phenomenal. I think you can look at the one-off plays with Graham, and you look at the second down in overtime against Alabama before the 4th down stop, his move to get the running back in the backfield. You go look at the tape for both those guys against Ohio State. I remember just even thinking of going back and watching a little bit of that game, especially you see those highlights popping up. That was a game, and there's always a good time to relive that game. But that was the game where Wink just outsmarted Kelly and Day, and it was just a personnel matchup. And you just knew that those 2 guys in the middle, mixed in with Josiah Stewart, Derek Moore, TJ Guy on the edges, those 4 or 5 guys were better than their front 5 guys. You just knew that. And it started with KG and Mason, and the tape in that game, as well as a handful of many other games, right, was phenomenal. So yeah, to see Kenneth then get rewarded, go down to Miami in a division that's, Bills are obviously the Bills, but what's going to happen with them? Jets are a mess. Patriots are rebuilding. That division gets a little more interesting too.
Yeah.
So excited for both those guys.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah. It's pretty remarkable. Just to see that. And, I thought, and I'll have to get your thoughts on this, Bryce, but man, to see Colston Loveland go that high too, he was obviously a talent that was projected to go that high, but I think he's like a seamless fit for Chicago. That is a perfect, as much as I hate it, me being a Lions fan, it's going to be scary to see him, Romeo Odunze, and DJ Moore, the Lions having to worry about coverage for those 3 guys. I mean, Colston Loveland is a dynamic playmaker. Not the run blocker that, maybe some traditional tight ends might see or it could be compared to, but dude, he's just going to give you so much versatility, line you up out wide. Ben Johnson's going to have a lot of fun with that guy, and Caleb Williams has a legitimate target over the middle now.
Yeah, that was a fun pick, and that was I think a surprising pick too. I thought for sure it was going to be Mason, Kenneth, and then Will somewhere in the top 3. As the time went on, you saw that right. Graham's probably gonna be the first off the board, and then you thought Johnson. We'll talk about Johnson, of course, here. But I kind of thought Loveland would maybe be at the tail end of the first round, maybe even the second round, because you just had the other tight ends. You got the kid from Bowling Green. You obviously have Tyler Warren, and Loveson obviously had a big year last year, 23. But last year he got hurt, and then we didn't have a quarterback to throw him the ball, and you didn't know what was going to happen. But if you watch him, you know that this kid's got that potential and upside. And then to go to the Bears, to go to an offense that many of us in Michigan are familiar with, Ben Johnson, and to see what they're loading up on the outside of the ball with, I think I saw that Ben Johnson's offense have 2 tight ends so 20, is it 20 personnel?
Yeah.
20 personnel, 30, yeah. I think second most of any team. So now you have Cole Kmet and a guy like Colston Loveland in the game. And then look at the rest of Chicago's draft picks. They got Luther Burden, who I think is one of the more talented receivers. They got him in the second round. They got one other guy I thought on the offensive side of the ball. They got they got Kyle Monungai, who I know he had a big year 2 years ago. And then this last year was not maybe his best year in Rutgers. It was maybe disappointing in a few different ways, but I think he's a really good back too. So all of a sudden the Chicago offense got absolutely loaded, and it kicked off all with Colston Loveland. So, Matt, I know to the point I was mentioning before, you get kind of swept into a lot of because of the algorithms, into these other teams' chatter and banter. So a lot of Bears fans upset that they didn't draft Tyler Warren. To that, and I think you'll agree with me on this, but I want to get your thoughts too. To that, I immediately say you don't watch much college football, because it's easy to fall in love with Tyler Warren's stats, but that offense essentially revolved around him. Maybe the running backs, but he was lined up. I think he played 8 positions in one game. That offense was catered to him. So if you're going to look at stats, you're not seeing the full picture. Whereas you see someone like Loveland can do what he can do as a tight end, line up at receiver, run like a receiver, go up and pinpoint the ball like a receiver. I think Bears fans are going to be pleasantly surprised and forget the whole Tyler Warren debate.
Let's just boil it down to what it is here, Bryce. I mean, come on now. We didn't have a freaking quarterback, all right? He wasn't able to get the ball nearly as much as he did with J.J. McCarthy, a legitimate quarterback throwing him the football. Like, that's just down to it. Like, Tyler Gabriel, legitimate quarterback. Davis Warren, I'll respect him, but I mean, he's not that kind of quarterback. So like he can give you everything. I mean, last year he was balling out. He was a awesome target for us. Arguably the best pass catcher in a Michigan uniform last year. Great target for, how many times I saw Loveland streaking over the middle for J.J. McCarthy, man. Like that was just clockwork for that team. So like, yeah, I think Bears fans are going to be very, very pleased with this. I mean, he's already getting a lot of comps to Zach Ertz, Sam Laporta. So like, again, like he's not like going to be lining up and, going one-on-one against your best defensive edge rushers. That's not where he's best, but just in terms of the passing game, in terms of just like his versatility and being able to run the routes and just a true pass catcher, high poning the ball, all that stuff. Like you're getting a dynamic player there. So Bears fans, I'm telling you right now, as much as I hate to say it, Colston Loveland is the truth.
He is. And I lived in Chicago for 6 years, and I tried to be on the Bears, be a Bears fan, and it was brutally impossible. And it's like, where was the pick like this when I was there? Because I've been all over it, and it's just unfortunate that it's now. And we talked about the AFC East, man. That's AFC North. I'm sorry, I think I said AFC East. AFC East is the Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots. AFC North is the Steelers, Bengals, Browns, Ravens. That's what I meant to say. Correction there. The NFC North gets really fun for Michigan fans. Of course, you have Detroit. It's Detroit's Michigan's great. You got go over to Minnesota. You got JJ. It's gonna be JJ's year. I'm sure we'll talk about that in weeks and months to come. And then now you got Colston in the Bears uniform and a fun offense. And then in Green Bay, you got guys like Rashawn Gary there as well. So all
he's
of Michigan's
surface too. I mean, he proved what he could do last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave him some different looks, and I mean, he is really coming to his own. Obviously, the injuries were a concern, but now it's full go. That guy is going to have a sensational career.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Since 2052 draft picks, Michigan has the most. Ohio State has 50. So 52 draft picks. Obviously, you got some free agents dribbled in there as well. But maize and blue is all throughout the NFL, and it's real fun to watch. And then now we got to talk about the shocking news. And I think this would have been probably the leading story if it wasn't for Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
But Will Johnson drop into day 2. What'd you make of that?
That's tough. Like this knee injury stuff, and like I don't know about it as much as maybe I should, but like I think it was a combination of that plus like I guess the injuries that forced him to miss time last year, and then obviously missed the combine. But I mean, he was like supposed to be a top 5, top 10 guy. Like he's supposed to be in that consideration. I mean, just the thing that always sticks out to me is his pick 6 against USC like last year. Like that was like solidified his stance as a CB1, one of the best corners in the league, 2-time All-American. Like what else do you need to prove here? But yeah, it's tough to see, but you know, I liked his comments. I liked how he handled it. He's like, this is all the more motivation I need to go out and showcase what I need to do. All-time leader at U of M in pick sixes. Like, I don't know what else he needs to more prove to the country, prove to the world. But I guess, you know, that the injury concerns lured teams away for some reason. I think the Cardinals got an absolute steal here. I mean, just look at all the grades around the internet. It's A's widespread, number 18th overall by The Athletic. Was playing a ton of zone coverage in Wink Martindale's scheme, and you know, in limited time, I thought he was outstanding. Yeah, it's just tough to see, you know, a U of M guy kind of fall like this. But
Yeah.
what do you got for it?
Yeah, no, I agree, man. It was perplexing. It was weird. I think you saw Loveland go off the board. And like I said, I thought Loveland maybe the 4th Wolverine drafted. You see him go off the board 2nd. And it's like, okay, well, then Kenneth Grant's, you know, going to come. And then you think, wow, Michigan, because we're all watching on Thursday, Michigan's going to get 4 players in the 1st round. Because you thought Johnson's name was inevitable. And then the night closes and he's not there. And it was perplexing, right? You know how good this guy is. You know how, I mean, the stat always rings true, and it was kind of bouncing around everywhere. He has more pick sixes than touchdowns given up. And it's just, that's insane. And he plays in an NFL style offense. He can go one-on-one with anybody. And you just saw that. And you know that as a Michigan fan, and then to see that it doesn't fall through. And man, you see a lot of conflicting reports, maybe not conflicting, but you see a lot of reports floating around the Twitter sphere, the X app. And it's just like, you know, is this injury is bad? And you see people say, oh, he's only going to play 3 to 5, maybe 7 years. And, you know, do you want to spend a 1st round draft pick on that? I don't know. Someone sent me a medical report. Someone could have made that up. I have no idea. But you see all these things. It's just like, what is going on? Is the injury that bad? And all in all, heartbreaking, because I don't know what his financial situation is, but that's a big difference between 1st round money and 2nd round money. And relatively speaking, he's going to be fine. You're an NFL 2nd round draft pick. You'll be all right. But the money was left on the table that you thought maybe a month ago, a week ago, a couple days ago, maybe you thought that was guaranteed. And he fell through. And so, yeah, man, I think it's humbling. I'm not saying he needed to be humbled. I don't think he needed to be humbled, but it kind of puts you in that perspective. Like, okay, now I got to go prove myself. And as you said, it's motivation, and you get to go one-on-one with Marvin Harris Jr. every single day. Those will be some fun battles.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, rivals obviously in college. So like that'll be just even more motivation for him. Yeah, it's tough. But you know, he has proven to be, you know, the best, arguably one of the best corners in the nation. And I see him as an all pro guy. And listen, I mean, that knee injury thing, like, I don't know. That was 2 years ago. Like I feel like that's behind him. And so uh, it's all going to pan out where it should be. And, you know, we can even look at some of these other guys that got drafted down the board as well. I mean, Josiah Stewart, we can get in on him. Like, man, I think him at number 90 with the Rams, that's just like a steal again. Like, I think he is going to be just awesome for him. Obviously not the biggest, but just a hungry guy that has a relentless motor, and you pair that with Jared Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, all those young guys on that Rams defensive front. That's, whew, I don't know, Bryce. That's going to be nasty.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And I'm just looking right now at the cornerbacks drafted. I think there were 2 cornerbacks drafted before Johnson, kid from Texas, kid from Kentucky. So, and not all bad, but yeah, no, dude, moving to Josiah Stewart, you saw what that kid could do. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he got bigger every year too. He just looked bigger, and you saw what he could do with technique and the moves he had. Obviously, at the beginning against USC, I was watching some of those highlights, and a couple of hawk downs against Ohio State and a couple sacks against Bama in the Rose Bowl. It's just like this kid could go off, and he's special. And I'll be honest, I was a little surprised he went as high as he did, round 3, but of course fired up for him, because I think, it's a good fit, and then a complimentary to Jared Verse to be, and hanging out with Blake Corum too. I'm sure they'll have some fun battles as well. It should be, it seems like a real good fit for Stewart over in LA.
Absolutely. Harbaugh. I'm sorry, not Harbaugh. I was thinking Michigan. Sean McVay, like, in that defense, I feel like is getting younger by the minute, and seeing, oh my gosh, what's his one of the greatest defensive linemen of all time retired?
Aaron Donald.
Yes, Aaron Donald. You hear about like all the chatter about how they're going to replace him. Well, I think they were well on their way last year, and this only solidifies that. So, big time for him. And then, honestly, I mean, we can get to Khalil Mullins, but like, I was so fired up for Miles Hinton to be able to get drafted. I think that's like so awesome for him to go to. I mean, one of the best offensive lines in NFL. You get to sit behind Lane Johnson. Like, you're in a perfect position. You have I thought it was a just an awesome fit for him. And then one of the best offensive line coaches in Jeff Stoutland, like in the NFL, like that is going to be fun to see him develop. And I think he has all the tools to be able to be a starter in the NFL.
Yeah, he'll be playing alongside Trevor Keegan as well.
Yeah.
And so he got drafted last year by the Eagles, although I don't think he was on. I know he did travel to the Super Bowl. I don't know if he dressed, but either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Miles Hinton getting picked. That was exciting to see. 6th round, right? Yeah, 6th round as well. So, and then Mullins, man, that one surprised me. Also, I keep saying I'm surprised. Maybe I should have been surprised, but I wasn't sure if you would hear his name, but excited for him too. Because he came in as linebacker.
Yeah.
And then turned into a running back, got some select carries in 2023. Remember, it was at 2022 against TCU. We had the fumble. Remember that goal line when we turned the ball over after Roman Wilson's touchdown got overturned? So I believe that was him. Correct me if I'm wrong. But then he had a decent year. And then last year, the USC game, the 3rd and 6 against Ohio State, to not seal it, but to really kind of put them in a position to win and to kick the field goal. And dude, what a legend.
That was a core memory, man. That was literally like just hearing Gus Johnson on that call, like that will forever be ingrained in my mind. To get that upset win, and for us to just basically do what we do and take the will of the other team and against Ohio State. Wow. I mean, what a cool story, man. Like, just, he's not going to be the fastest. He's not going to have, the top end talent, or, have all the glitz and the glam and of an Ashton Genty or anybody like that. But just a workhorse. And like, I just see him coming in and being a short yardage kind of guy that can get you the tough yards. And he's proven it over and over again. Just a bowling ball kind of running back. And it'll be fun to see him in that Titans offense. Obviously Pollard there, Tajay Spears, but he could be number 3 there and give you some tough yards and come in. And just, it's cool to see him to be able to develop. And obviously Donovan Edwards was supposed to be the guy, and we can get to him, but like,
Mm-hmm.
man, Mullins, he just worked, man. He just worked harder than anybody, and cool to see. Cool to see.
Yeah, mean runner. And you mentioned I'm looking at the Titans room right now, and they got 5 running backs, including Mullins. So hopefully he'll get his opportunity. But yeah, man, let's talk about Donovan Edwards. I want to say this. I want to start things off by saying I'm seeing a lot of Buckeye fans running their mouths about this guy. Oh, he went from 5-star to undrafted. He was on the cover of EA Sports. Y'all can just I'll say this. Y'all can cram it because it means your words mean nothing to me. He put you guys out in 22, ended it, wrapped it up, put the nail in the coffin, sealed it up. He did that. He left Lathan Ransom on his face, crying for more. He did that in 22. 23, the Don, obviously those 2 big touchdowns against Washington. Everything looked like he should have had a big year last year. The offense was his, and it just didn't work. And it's unfortunate. Let's call a spade a spade. Maybe take the maize and blue glasses off for a little bit. Didn't end up really working. And of course, the aforementioned Cole Mullins stepped in and really took over the RB1 spot. But Don Edwards had the big play capability, wasn't necessarily a every down back, but could when they needed him, he answered. And in my eyes, man, Michigan legend, seems like an awesome kid, great dude. And now he gets a shot. Right now he's free agent, signed a free agent was it the Jets?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's going to get an opportunity and hopefully to prove himself. But y'all can miss me with any of that Don Edwards hate because that dude is a legend in my book and
Showed up in the
number 7.
He showed up in the big time moments, man. He showed up when you needed him most in the biggest of all stages. Ohio State put him to bed. I'm sorry. I don't want any of that smoke. I will take the smoke, honestly. Like you could come at me with all that type of stuff because like he performed on the biggest stage. I'm telling you right now, he's got a home run capability. And listen, he doesn't in between the tackle stuff sometimes, it's not there and you wish it was, but he can give you so much versatility in terms of just catching the ball out of the backfield. He is so electric. You give that guy some space, he will cook you. And he will go down in Michigan history because of the way he was able to perform against the rivals. And I mean, what did he have? Like 190 yards and 2 touchdowns against Ohio State in 23? Like, come on, man.
22, yeah.
I don't want to hear any of that from OSU fans. Y'all lost like 4 or 5 straight against us. Like, I don't want to hear any of that when you got Donovan Edwards putting you to sleep, man. Like, he is a legend in Michigan history. Come on now.
Yep. No, forever loved. And he had those moments of just absolute glory. Just couldn't put it together. You're behind Blake Corum too.
Yeah.
And Blake Corum's going to get the carries and just tough. It's tough. Haskins' his freshman year. So it didn't end the way you wanted to, but go enjoy that EA Sports check somewhere. Hopefully you spent it wisely and got something cool. Because any of those Buckeye or Spartan fans who bought that game got to see his pretty face on it. So enjoyed that cover. Other guys to shout out, unrestricted free agents, Makari Page.
Yep.
William Wagner, long snapper.
Yeah.
Got picked up as well. Anybody I'm missing?
What about from the Dolphins signed Josh Priebe? Is that how you say his last
Josh
name?
Priebe. Yeah.
Priebe, sorry.
I missed him on here.
My mistake.
That's all right.
But yeah, another offensive lineman off the board. So just a great showing from the Wolverines. Really, really cool to see, the first 3 go off, and should have been 4, should have made program history. But those top 3 or top 4. I'm not going to not include Will Johnson in that because he's going to have an outstanding season or a career. So that's just awesome overall from the Wolverines there.
Yep. 20 players from the national championship team drafted. And then, of course, a handful of other unrestricted free agents picked up after this year's draft and last year's draft. So an impressive class. I think looking at some other guys, Amir Hall did not get picked up. Keyshawn Harris, cornerback, did not get picked up. Quentin Johnson. and then Wesley Walker, I believe, are the only guys who have not yet got picked up who were participated in Pro Day.
Those guys are coming soon, man. They'll get something.
Yeah, hopefully. So, and lastly too, just the Shedeur Sanders stuff, man. What a wild. Oh no, before that. It took 6 rounds for a player in the green and white out of East Lansing to get drafted. Luke Newman. Shout out Luke Newman. Guess what? He has more football success than I could ever dream about, but he's going to Chicago. But Matt, we talked about this last week. What is going on in East Lansing? Is there ever been a program more quiet? I don't know, but shout out Luke Newman finally getting picked up. Only Spartan draft pick.
Who? I'm sorry, who? I didn't hear anything
Who?
coming. I didn't even. I mean, yeah. This just solidifies it more. I don't get what's going on there in old East Lansing. It's tough to know that we're not going to have much competition for one of our biggest rivals here for the next couple of years at least. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I mean, I got crickets over here in Grand Rapids, and I'm an hour away. I don't know, man. Something wrong in the water. Something's going on. I got to turn that thing around. But I'm just going to thrive in it right now because it's just great to be, a diehard fan of, not only the greatest team in college football, but in the state too. I mean, we're just dominating right now.
Indeed. Yeah, we both live around here, and we can hear some of the chatter. And in years gone by, when things were going a little bit better in East Lansing, we heard it. And like you said, pretty much crickets right now. So yeah, Shedeur, man, what a saga! Oh my goodness. What do you make of that? Because is that just a situation where the media got out of control and it was never this big? Was there a vendetta against him? Were teams out to get him, or they're just trying to teach him a lesson? Is he not that good? Is he that good? It's crazy, man. I was locked in.
What a whirlwind for that guy. I mean, it's tough. There's so many different dynamics coming with it. Obviously, Dion being his dad, and you hear all the stuff about Mel Kiper and backing him, and that rant that was going on ESPN. That was wild to watch. And I mean, it would be tough, to draft that guy when you have Dion. Obviously he's the coach at Colorado, but like that's got to be tough to know that he's right there. And there was a lot of speculation about his workouts, with NFL teams. I just did not see this kind of slide. This is like almost historic kind of stuff from a guy who was projected to maybe even go to the Giants at 3 to 5th round in a wild situation in Cleveland. Their quarterback carousel continues there, but insane stuff. I don't know if I feel like a lot of the media has to be a part of it. Just the way they were blowing it up. And I don't know. I still have to process it, honestly. Like we're going to hear more, obviously. But man, I got to hear your thoughts. Like, I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I think it truly was. It's going to be a case study, and it's going to be a 30 for 30 at some point that everyone's going to look back and say, oh, well, this is what happened. You saw, I mean, you go down the timeline, like, okay, we're midway. No, first pick happens. It's Ward. Okay. Nothing surprising there. Then you go 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like, okay, wait a second. And then you get to the halfway through the first round, and then nothing. And then you get to the end of the first round. Everyone's like, wait, what? And you always, if you watch ESPN, you saw Mel Kiper's best available. He was always there. And then, as you mentioned, you saw Kiper freaking out. And I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he's super entertaining. You're never going to bat 100 or bat 1,000 in a game like this, picking draft picks. So, you can sit and say, oh, he got all these wrong. It's like, it's a crapshoot. You just don't know what you're going to get. So I think he's entertaining. I think he's funny. I think it's good. So he went off as well. And then you go to the second, third round, day 2, nothing. And so between that moment and the moment at the beginning, you saw a lot of different stories, right? Were the interviews that bad? Was it did he seem that arrogant? And you see that stuff with Dable and the Giants. That story comes out, and then you see just other like press conference moments flash out. You see like in-game taunting and just talking smack, and then you get all these speculations. You get one side saying that he's being blackballed. You get the other side saying he deserves this. This is a humbling moment. And it was crazy. And I think you nailed it, man. Like, there's so much we don't know, and I'm sure the stories will come out of kind of what happened, but someone got something wrong, and he was fed, or maybe he tried to fabricate some sort of story that he was a first round pick, if not a top 5 pick. I mean, he had the whole party. Like, you saw the video and the live footage of him at his party, and he did all of that. And so I don't know, man. I don't know who fed him that. I don't know if he tried to just make it happen, but he was very wrong, and him and his team were very wrong about this. Clearly there was disconnect, because if he thought he was going to be a first round draft pick, and he wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't even a second or third round. So he's a day 3 pick. And it's like, shouldn't you kind of know that at that moment? Like, why were you having a party for day 1, only get drafted on day 3? So that kind of goes back to me thinking, did something happen as of late? Did he try to fabricate something? I don't know. Like, there's just so much we don't know, because at the end of the day, whether his fault or not, he got it wrong. Him and his team got it wrong. And it wasn't until the 5th round. So I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what stories come out, what facts come out with this, because it truly was a wild story. I don't think we've seen a slide like that ever in any draft ever. I don't know what you even compare that to with other sports, but it was wild, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny the talent that this guy had. I mean, he can make all the throws, but it's like the arrogance, I feel like, has to come into a factor a little bit in terms of just like, he thought he was one of the best. And I mean, the board speaks for itself. Like, clearly these teams saw something there that was kind of glaring. Yeah, it's I mean, Colorado, he did some good things, but like, did he lead them to, ultimate success? I mean, they were ranked, but they were hovering around the top 25 for multiple years. Sure, he had some great moments, led him to some great wins. I think in the first year, he led him to that win against TCU, but like, I don't know, man, just not enough. And in the, the team around him, sure, maybe it wasn't as good, but I mean, Deion's bringing in tons of talent. There has to be something there that's like an issue, and we'll find out more about it. But it has to feel like, yeah, I mean, he thought differently, and now he's going to have to wake up to the reality of battling for not only trying to get this starting spot in Cleveland, but like trying to make that roster. Like, you're in a prickly situation there, sir, and now you're gonna have to go prove yourself. Let's see what you can do. Like, let's see what you're made of.
Yeah, and the balls are gonna get rolled out in camp, and they're all gonna get their shot. But then, man, and I don't disagree with a lot of what you're saying, but I look at the quarterbacks taken before him. So Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, those two make sense. I don't think there's any surprise there. Of course, when Tyler Show, I think I said his name right, Show from Louisville, 25, 26-year-old, gets drafted before him, you kind of think, okay, And then there's jokes going around like, oh, Milroe is going to get drafted before him. And he does. And then Dylan Gabriel gets picked before by the Cleveland Browns. And you think to yourself, okay, are all of those guys better than Sanders? And you can probably argue for it, against it. I don't know. But the fact is that those guys all were picked before him. And then did you see the footage or the clip of the coach and the GM for Cleveland when the news was announced? Just stone cold faces. I mean, they were clapping and stuff, but now there's all speculation that it was the owner who wanted to get Sanders because that's going to bring attention to the organization. And those are clicks. That's money. That's revenue that you can bring in with stuff like that, which I know coaches and GMs hate that because you want to focus on ball. You're not here to, you don't care about that. And it was nuts. Unlike anything I'd ever seen before. And I think he's good. Like, I think he's better than a lot of those guys. And then the question, it all comes down to this, Matt. The question is he worth the headache? And I saw a bunch of names listed out kind of in the same conversation. Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton with some of his stuff that he went through in college. It's like, those guys all had rocky situations. I'll call it rocky. I don't think that's probably the best word for every one of them, but kind of some potential issues or red flags with teams and whatnot. But I think then the really question that gets asked is like, is he worth what comes with him? And it was interesting because I think we heard all along that he was a top 5 pick. Teams didn't feel that way. Teams clearly did not feel that way, that he was worth the headache of what comes with the Prime family and the media and the video and all that insight stuff that they're going to do. And as they should, I mean, it's their image, it's their NIL. Like, they can do whatever they want with that. And it's really, this is really interesting to see. So I don't know. You pulling for him, or are you kind of like, hope he gets humbled even more?
I am pulling for him, but like, I kind of want to see him have to go through some adversity here. Like, this could ultimately be something that could really, change the trajectory of his career. And like you said, Bryce, like, teams, bottom line, didn't want to deal with baggage. They did not want to deal with all the shit that comes with this. All, Deion, everything, the spotlight, yada, yada. And so I don't know. It's interesting to see Cleveland, and just like you said, just like how, they picked this guy, and maybe this brings more attention to them. And that organization sometimes has some questionable picks, but I kind of want to see a situation. I mean, you pull up the example of Baker Mayfield, right? He took a while for him to settle in, and now, I mean, he's doing well in Tampa. So, like, could it be a situation where, sure, like, he bounces around a couple of times and he finally has to find himself in year 6, on his 3rd team, and he finally gets his shot, and now he's a different kind of a player. I mean, I could see that happening. Like, he has to go through some hard times to really find himself. And Baker was obviously in Cleveland, and he had, his time there, and then obviously Carolina, and now, in Tampa Bay, he's proven to be, a top 15 quarterback, honestly, top 10. Last year, he's played awesome. So, could he be in that kind of a situation? Sure. I think that might be ultimately the best thing for him.
Yeah, but it's a good point. It'd be interesting to see, because I think Baker Mayfield was the first overall pick, so you get that first overall pick contract too. So that contract kind of rides with you with the different teams, because he went to Carolina after that, and then LA, and then Tampa.
That's right, LA. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a short stint there. He had that big Thursday night game. I remember.
Yeah, that revived. I mean, that was his springboard. Honestly, that was crazy.
Yeah, and then he got an opportunity in Tampa and capitalized it. So it was a great situation. And so you kind of get the benefit of the doubt being the number 1 overall pick, and the contracts that follow. This is different with Shedeur. You're a 5th round pick. Contracts aren't going to be the same. He's probably making more at Colorado than he's making right now.
Right.
And so do you get the luxury? Do you get the opportunity to kind of afford extra mistakes? And I think the answer is probably no. But you also have the Sanders name, and you can probably carry that with you a little bit as well. But Cleveland's not really the best place for quarterbacks. I like Stefanski, but I don't. That seems like the issue's greater than him, and so we'll see. We'll see what comes up out of it. I mean, got another Big Ten quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, there as well. You got Deshaun Watson. You got Joe Flacco there. It's an insane quarterback room. It'll be fun to see. It'll be entertainment for anyone who's not a Browns fan.
Yeah.
Which I guess we kind of are now because of Mason Graham. Shoot.
Yeah, right. No, we have to follow it. But yeah, I guess they're just trying to get competition. I don't see Deshaun Watson being anything more in this league at all, ever. But like, yeah, we'll see who comes out to be QB1 here, in the next couple of months. But wild, just wild for Cleveland. Just adds to the saga of their organization, man. You see the jersey of him from Tim Couch. They added the pieces of tape all the way down. Now we're back to Joe Flacco and
like 40 different quarterbacks since 1999. 40 different quarterbacks. That's 26 years, roughly. 40 quarterbacks. I mean, that's like 2 quarterbacks a season. Like, that's nuts.
I thought Lions fans had it bad, but oof.
Always remember there's Cleveland.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff. Shout out to all the Wolverines who got drafted and picked up yesterday. Cheering for them, especially you, Donovan. Go out, show them, prove them wrong. And if you don't, man, go enjoy that cushy EA at College Football 25 paycheck you're getting.
Mm-hmm. Still raking it in, still raking in the dough. No, I appreciate you, Bryce, and I appreciate all the fans out here listening to us. We got another great outing on that second episode. I think we almost hit 2,000 again for views. I saw the comments. I love the comments. We appreciate all the feedback. Give us more. We're working hard out here. We're trying to perfect our craft, and we love all the insights. So this is only episode 3. More good things to come. We're going to keep it cooking and keep it rolling here. So much love to all the listeners out there. We appreciate y'all.
Well said. Well said. All right. Go Blue.
Go Blue, baby. Let's go.